I just want to show a few more of the pictures of orbs. There's my little friend Harry. Now you see this orb is, one end is like pointed, and on this one, this end is like turning. And these orbs can turn into their own selves and blend inside their own selves. There's just so much that light can do. And some people question whether they're intelligent. And my question is, does it matter? They're a life force. And is air intelligent? I mean, we breathe it. We have to have it to live. And this is something that is of the essence of light. And we know that we're made of light. Some of us know that. And the activity of light, then, is something that is deserving of being researched, and maybe not fix a lot of opinions about it always does this or it always does that, because humans have this tendency to want to measure and qualify and quantify everything. But what if there is a realm of existence where we can't get to do that? It's not going to be something that's doable. I thought that looked funny. It looked like a straw coming out of the mouth of the orb with his mouth open. Of course, that just appears that way. And see all the colors that are in these orbs. It's amazing. I know I say that word quite a lot, amazing, but it just is. Okay, this little picture here, that was a little orb activity out in space around the space shuttle. An arm of it had broken loose or something, and they were filming these little things, these little light creatures that were flying all around. I took this picture off of my computer screen of that. And here's another one I took that way. Something NASA saw in space, and they gave us this picture of it. It looks a whole lot like things orbs do all the time. So just wanted to put those in there. This one's kind of beautiful. I'll go up in it a little bit. There's Harry. I like this one. I think this one's pretty. The way it turns and twists is so delicate a twist there. Very artistic. And I've seen a lot of pictures of the aurora that's in the northern hemisphere, the northern skies, like in Alaska. And it looks a whole lot like that one did. I thought this one was unusual. Look at that little circle right there. And then at the end there's one right there. That's a joint or something of it. And see all the design, all the weavings. It's like tapestry or something like that. And this one is full full of little seed-like looking things. I'll close in on that. See the little things that look like little seeds. And look at this light. It makes a 90-degree turn there. It's like zoom, zoom. Really funny looking. Well, this one's very interesting. Oh, that's the cats. Now see, here's the light source. It's kind of a pink light, and you can see how this just comes forth from it and starts taking this shape. And here's some that have taken the shape of the orb, but they don't stay always flat out round. They'll turn a little side over toward the center or go into a ribbon or whatever. And this is a strange one. Look at all that. I'll go up close on all that. Go back to that one. There's the light source over there, and you see an orb coming out, kind of folded like a fan right now at that point. Well, I got close up inside this one because there were so many rich colors of it. So beautiful. Nature is such a great artist. And look at this one doing the twist on two ends, this end and this end. They're just twisting up. They're so funny. Looking at these orbs, it's kind of like I'm exploring. Well, it really is. I'm exploring another world that has been invisible to us for so long. And now we can see into it and wonder about it. Because that's mostly what I do. I think I have some answers, but I'm not absolutely sure that I do. But at least I'm inquiring. And this light, I tell you, when I look at light, I feel its friendliness or its love for me. I just feel like it wants to show me all the things it can do. Like it does have a consciousness. Maybe it's an overall consciousness, you know, like having an oversoul. Because every little circle couldn't be maybe a separate consciousness, but it's consciousness nevertheless. I look at this one, it's various stages of folding, unfolding here, and here's some on the bottom of this that are in the dark more, but they're bigger and they still have that orb shape on the side. I think this one looks like the cosmic egg. It's breaking. And see, they have this look, they're kind of got this biplane effect. A lot of orbs I take pictures of have a orb right under them. And it just looks real funny. I like to get up into these orbs and get some of this beautiful color that they show. It's like a wonderful art piece. Now look at these two. One's kind of got a golden glow and the other one more of a silvery glow. And of course it's the orb. You see the little round edging here. But it's not a perfectly round one now. It's gotten real long and it's starting to ribbon out. And look at these. They look like little, maybe they look like what you would call a sperm. There are so many mysteries. So many things for us to wonder about and be happy that there are these mysteries. It keeps life from being boring. These look like two cocoons hanging there. Oh, I put some words on this. It's rhythmatic-balanced interchange between all pairs of opposite expressions in natural phenomena and in human relations is the consummate art of God's universe of light. And if people realize the meaning of this, they would know that we don't need a world where there is such disparity between the rich and the poor, because this whole expression of life on this earth is to have a balanced interchange between pairs of opposites. Not something where some people don't even have a roof over their head and others have more than one mansion that they live in. That's just, it's just wrong. And when that happens in nature, you'll get a hurricane or a tornado or something. When there's an imbalance in the pressures of the air, it causes upheavals. And it's causing upheavals now, only we call it people out in the street rioting, or people out in the street protesting. And I've been noticing that a lot of people comment on the protesters saying they're at fault somehow. They should be content. They shouldn't be asking for anything. And in a certain way, I don't see that their actions of protesting are the most efficient use of their energy. Because if they understood the energy in their mind, their very brain power they have, that they can think thoughts of love to those who are what they think are their enemies, then they can sit right at home and do more than getting out in the streets and protesting. We have to get enough of us to start thinking loving thoughts toward the enemy, just like Jesus said, love your enemy, resist not evil. because you're given more power to it when you resist it. What you resist, persist. And it always will persist, because when you become emotional about something, you are creating more of that to continue to be emotional about, and then you're just creating more. So when people use their words to define actions or future actions that they think or fear are going to happen, they are part of making it worse. And all this excessive imagining in the negative, like that, can cost people their lives. When you worry about some effective nature like a hurricane or something like of that nature, and you just envision that it's going to do so much damage, and you're preparing for it because you just know it will, well, we are creating our reality. And enough of us thinking in the negative like that, and wow, we need some good storytellers nowadays, because we have a lot of doom and gloomers, especially some of the people in the church that are looking forward to Armageddon, and it seems they even want to get it going because they think that it has to happen. And their thoughts are effective. But here's a good point to remember. One good thought can cancel out 1,000 bad thoughts. So you see, we only need a certain percentage of people who will think the good thoughts to cancel out all of the thoughts that humanity is thinking that are negative. Now look at this one. This is an end of one of the orbs going into another orb. Or it appears to be doing that. They're so transparent, and what I like about these orbs is they're friendly to one another. They pass through one another, loan their colors to another, join with another. They just do so many things that show they cooperate as little entities of light with other entities of light just like them. And when they cooperate, they make many beautiful colors and beautiful designs, much like I wish humans would do. Now look at this one, how ribbon-like it looks. See how it goes down there, and then it twists around, and then it goes this way. Happy New Year, everybody. I put that one on Facebook. Didn't get any responses. Much. Maybe one response that they liked it, but it's like, none of my friends or family wonders about these pictures of orbs I'm getting, like, wow, that's great, I want to know more about it. No, it's like, oh, that's nothing. I can't even get their interest up. And it's like, are people not curious anymore? I just don't understand it. So any of you who want to comment and you are curious and you want to know how to get pictures like this, I'll be glad to tell you. I have made one video that talks about how to take, well, the title of it is How to Take Pictures of Orbs, and you can find that on my channel and learn how you can do this too if you care to. But I warn you, it's like potato chips. You can't eat just one chip. You can't take just one picture. You just want to keep taking pictures. There's Harry again. On this one I wrote, few there are who know of the oneness of their self-soul with the universal self-soul. We're all part of one another. And this is another one. These quotes are from Walter Russell's book, The Divine Iliad, or The Secret of Light. They're in both of those books. Here he says, O thou unseen one, tear from my eyes the blinding veil which hides the path of thy light, that I might find my way to thee. So we're certainly researching the path of light here. This one has a lot of activity going on in it. I think I'll go up close on that. And you see, constantly see all the little circles within this, and bigger circles and whiter circles, and it's amazing. And sometimes Harry pops in. Like I think, no, that's the two eyes there that are in all of them. But sometimes I see a little dark spot that looks like where he's been. Like, I think that's him right there. He always has these little legs to the side, and sometimes he has two little eyes. Look, eye-looking things. I don't know that they're eyes. And there is his activity again. He darts in and out. I took this picture at my friend's house in Arizona, and it looks like there's a big orb right here and a corresponding orb to it on this other side of the fence here. It's really strange how that turned out that way. And I wasn't, using anything that I was filming through. It was just that the light does these things. I get a lot of pictures. But sometimes I do hold the little glass marbles up in front, so I get really beautiful orbs and nature. And here's one where I did that out in nature. You can see the desert and the mountains there. Here's another one. See, these orbs here are the pentagon shape, and some of them are very colorful. We were climbing a mountain. Oh, I'll go back to this one. I see things that are just in the air. Without the aid of my camera, I see these little, I would say they're little tube-like things that just are there. If I squint my eyes, I see them. They just float by, zigzag sort of, like I'm surrounded by them. Harry again. This one I thought looked like it was spelling out a word right here. It looks like a H and an N for sure. Okay, I didn't have anything but just my camera and the sun shining on these mules, and wow, did I get a lot of orbs out of that sun. Here's an orb that just twists right in the middle. It's doing the twist. And here's some more twisting ones, which gives rise to me thinking that maybe the string theory, that everything is made out of little strings of light, so tiny that we can't see them, except I'm seeing them in these pictures. And look at this one. You see it's kind of funneling, it's kind of vortexing here, and you see it's kind of looking like a little horn of a sort. This one's very beautiful. Okay, I have to read it. When I put words in there, I have to read it. The two greatest elements in civilization, religion and science, will find unity in marriage of the two. Likewise, human relationships will become more balanced because of greater knowledge of universal law, which lies behind all of the processes which light uses to interweave the pattern forms of this electric wave universe. And those are words from Walter Russell. I know it seems impossible to think that science and spirituality will ever come into agreement, but when science is properly understood and religion is properly understood, then there is an agreement, because there are natural laws, and you don't necessarily find them in any holy books. You may find some reference to them that kind of makes you think, well, yeah, that's probably God, because in the Bible it talks about that God being omnipresent, omnipotent, and omnipotent. That means everywhere powerful, everywhere present, and everywhere understanding everything. Well, the God of the Bible I do not understand at all, because he seems more like a person, a personality, a human, because he's capable of jealousy and capable of judgment, even though some of the words say do not judge, and yet this God of the Bible judges all the time. He'll strike you down for the least thing. And I can't believe in that God, because that's a cruel God. He has this place of punishment where he's not going to be satisfied that you just get punished. You got to be tormented forever. Like, what worse thing could a devil do than this that people think God is going to do? I can't think of anything worse than to be tormented forever. I could not serve a God who had an incredibly bad plan such as that. I could never be happy. Because being as a human, well, he could change his mind and then say, off to hell for you. You could be in his good graces 1 minute, and the next minute off you are in torment. But thank goodness that God is not the real God. I think the real God is a primal force that has laws concerning its movements. I was looking at a video the other day that showed cavemen writing on their wall, and they did these little ladder things. So there might have been a time when people saw the activity of the light, and they saw it more than we do today. And that's why they're on the drawings on the cave walls, or they were drawing things that didn't look like anything to us now, because we're not used to seeing this sort of thing. Only I'm changing that. If I can get more and more people to view these videos, they'll see some things that look like cave writings on a wall. I'll go in close on this one. There's some interesting effects right in here. It is all so strange and beautiful and wild and frenzied. And sometimes it looks so disorganized when I'm looking at the light. It'll look like, oh, it's just coming all apart, but the next second it's a perfectly formed little orb again with its colors all in rolls. But just as quickly it can get out of that formation. I thought this one was extra pretty. And look at the color of this, the yellows and the reds, and purple and green. I did find one artist, I forget his name now, but I found him online. And he was taking pictures of orbs. Not with a digital camera, though. He said that he wasn't using that. I don't know how he got his pictures. He explains, but I still didn't understand his explanation. It was too technical. But what he did was he didn't get the colors like I'm getting here, but he had colors in his orb pictures because he introduced laser light color. He made that go into the area where he was taking a picture of an orb. So he has a lot of color, but it's not the natural color that's there just naturally. I wish I could communicate with him. I would say, look, you don't have to introduce laser light colors. They're full of it on their own. Look at all these intense colors, and they're just there. I did nothing to put them there. And this one, oh, it's so beautiful. I'll go in close on that one. Now here's the source of light right here, and see here the teardrop shape of an orb coming down. Here's another one that had formed, and that's moved on out from the light a little ways, and it's opening up a little bigger. And look at the color in that. Isn't that magnificent? It looks like abstract art. Okay, here's one of the words in. The unfoldment-refoldment principle repeats all patterns in nature sequentially and records them and voids them as they are repeated. Exactly what this light is doing. And here's another from Walter Russell. The voidance principle and the mirrors and lenses of space are the cause of illusion of all moving things. Light is all there is. Look at this up close. I want to show you the activity going on right here. That's strange looking there. I thought this was one of my best pictures of all, because I see orbs going through other orbs, and then this one that's ribboning out. Maybe there's two of them there. It doesn't really matter, but look at all the color and the design of this. Just great art. There's Harry. I always notice him because he darts in and out of my viewer as I'm looking at the pictures of this. So I've just given him a name. Now, I wrote here from Walter Russell's book again, two conditioned lights in seeming motion, which record God's one whole ideal of creation into countless seemingly separate parts of that whole ideal. Here's one that looks like a fan, or maybe it's several. Man is forever finding the light, and forever is being transformed by finding it. Gradually he finds the self of him, which is the light. So we're finding ourselves when we find this light. And if you're a person interested in finding yourself, you would be interested in this, because we are light ourselves. I wrote on here, light folds and unfolds and refolds over and over again. And this one says, one cannot for one moment remove his seeking eyes from his high heaven, for ever so slight a glimpse below into the dark, brings him back to the fears of the dark, which tempt him to plunge back into them. Which, by the way, I have several of Walter Russell books in my Google document files, which I can send to people if they even inquire and give me their email address. I will just send them right along to you, and they are The Secret of Light and the Divine Iliad 1 and the Divine Iliad 2. And I read several of his books on my YouTube channel. Now, if you're a scientifically minded person and you understand high science, you would like the one I read called The Universal One by Walter Russell. But the science in it goes way past what I'm able to comprehend. But I read it anyway because someone out there that will listen to it that understands science better than I do will get something from it. Now, there was a cave drawing. I was looking at a video the other day, and they had done this kind of little drawing here of this little ladder looking thing. It's just something light does. I think ancient man was more enlightened than we give him credit for being. I see this one is light that is sort of ribboned out, but then turned around and went back into itself. And see, this is the part that looks like a snake, doesn't it? And it's going right back into itself. Or else it's on the back side that we're seeing it transparent as it looks. It looks like it's going into itself. It may be. I don't know what to tell you about what all this light is doing. I just have pictures, that's all. Your guess oftentimes is as good as mine, because I'm not absolutely sure what I'm looking at here. But I do know it's very beautiful. I do think one of the new researches that people will be doing now is to research light and what the sun's light, the cosmic rays, have in them nowadays. Because I do think we're getting into a part of the universe where cosmic rays are more in evidence. Like, you take a picture of the sun. I took this at my friend's house through a tree he has where the sun was shining. And all these rays of light broke out from the sun, and some of them are little orbs that are pentagon shaped. And see, they just do crazy, wild things while they're moving. Now, all these pictures, though they're still, they're pictures of motion, because all this stuff is moving constantly. And when I snap the camera, I just get one little portion of its movement. This one reminds me of pictures I see of the sun where a big spurt of light, plasma or something, jumps up and makes a little loop like that. There's Harry. And there he is again. Sometimes I try to catch him. And I'm always getting this thing here. It moves in and out of pictures too. That's a strange looking thing. Oh, I'm at 29 minutes. I'll have to end this soon. I thought that looked like a 39. I'll end it with this picture. I really love this one because I have an orb that got right here, like the sun or something, and all these rays shooting down rainbow-like into the atmosphere. And on this one I will end because I'm about to use up my time. Okie doke, and bye-bye. Oh, I was at 30. I was at 40.